1 o'clock, sir?
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to call the meeting to order.
Thank you.
May we all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Robert, would you lead us?
Yes, Commissioner. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, my friend.
You're welcome, Commissioner. Mr. Chairman.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Bielak,
I am here.
Commissioner Herrera,
Here.
Commissioner Gary is absent, Commissioner Curry,
Here.
Commissioner Segura,
Here.
Commissioner Suarez,
Here.
Commissioner Smith,
Present.
Commissioner Porter,
Present.
and Staff Liaison Carter. Here. Chairperson.
Can we have some public comments? John Schollenbarger, you're
Give a
recognized.
microphone, I got a big mouth. Let me know when the clock starts. You ready?
All set.
Good evening, Arts Commission. I am John Schollenberger, 7th Ward, City of San Bernardino, in the Arrowview community. I am here to advocate for changing of the times for the commission meetings for the Arts Commission from 4 to 6 p.m. And my rationale behind that is that I'll use the safety commissions and the planning commissions as examples. Now, Faye Aldridge and I, who many of you know as my community partner, we partner with the safety commissions on a lot of things. There's always a quorum, and there's always an opportunity for the community who works to be a part of and to be present at these meetings. She and I get a lot of stuff done because I believe it's because of that 6 p.m. start time. It's only 2 days a month. Okay. Now, granted, and I was speaking to Faye about this the other day. I says, I remember when she was on Parks, and they could never get a quorum because it started at 4. She says every single time we'd come together, we couldn't get a quorum, and finally she had to drop out because she said we just couldn't get anybody to meet. I think it's important because if you do that, it'll enable more people to come. It'll inspire people to come and be a part of it, but it'll make it a lot easier for some of the commissioners that struggle to get here at a 4 o'clock time. Now, arts are big for us in Arrowview, as many of you know who Faye is. She and I, we recently did the mural at Campo Santo Cemetery. It's very big to her, especially. She spearheaded that whole thing. With there being an opportunity for that 6 p.m. start time and it being an inspiration to give more civic engagement, I think we could get more of an interest in the arts. And you guys play a vital role. These commissions are for us. They're not for the council, they're for us. To do what we want to do in the community and take the community where we want it to be. And I think arts is important to all of you, otherwise you wouldn't be sitting here. So with that said, I just think it'd be beneficial for you guys to truly consider that and change that time and give it some thought. You know, like some people say, well, you know, people know what the start time is when they see it and they sign up for it, but not a lot of people, you know, maybe more people would want to get involved and serve if the time change would change. So I just wanted to say thank you for allowing me to give you that opportunity to chew on that for a while. Is that you, Darlene? I need to talk to you soon about the community stuff. But anyway, thank you for your time and consideration. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, now we have 2 presentations. I'd like to recognize Lynn Merrill for the first presentation.
And real quick, Chairperson, we didn't get any confirmations from the VPLA to come and present. So we don't have anybody from from the grant. But this is a hard copy of Lynn's presentation.
Okay.
Where's the? It's on that side?
Yep, that corner.
If not, I can wing it.
We might have two more copies. We might have another one. Then you want to log in, or you want to just wing it?
I don't have it on my computer, so I guess I'll just go ahead and wing it. Well, good afternoon, Mr. Chair, members of the commission. It's a pleasure being here. I'd like to thank Chairman Smith for extending an invitation for me to present to you tonight on the San Bernardino Historic Elements Survey. A little bit of background on the genesis of this survey. Back in 2023, the Public Works Department, I was not here at the time, I didn't come until December of 2023, but they conducted a cleanup of Paris Hill Park. And one of the things that happened during that cleanup is that there were a couple of historic elements that were part of the Camp Cajon tables that are associated with Camp Cajon site up in the past. And they were in very poor condition, and the Public Works Department made a determination at the time to go ahead and dispose of them. Well, because of the significance of those tables, the Historic Society, Nick Cataldo, Mark Landis, were very concerned about the fact that those elements had been lost. They were a significant component. They were very near and dear to their hearts because the Historical Society, which Chairman Smith is involved in, had put a lot of effort in those tables. And so as a result, when I came in, there was some concern about the fact that these were lost. And the Historical Society actually asked us to try to recover them. And by this time, they were probably 8 months in the landfill. I actually did reach out to my contact at the county in the solid waste department. And when I told them what we were looking for and where, I pretty much got laughter because if anybody knows a landfill, it's quite a bit of material gets put in every day, and trying to find, in essence, 2 concrete tables and benches was literally going to be like a needle in a haystack. And so, as part of our dialogue with the Historical Society, we recognized that there's not only the historic structures in the community, things like the City Hall building or the Harris building or various historical homes in the city, but there are these small elements that actually contribute to the importance of the community. They're what tie those areas of special nature together. If you think about, let's say around the library, you have the cannons, you have the statuary, you have the plaques. Those are all considered to be historic elements. They're not necessarily structures in the context of when you do a historic resource survey. And I've done historic resource surveys for the cities of Colton, Rialto, Rancho Cucamonga, and Ontario. That's where you're looking at the buildings. That's where you're looking at the neighborhood. But there are all these little elements that are out there that, like the Camp Cajon tables, that could potentially be lost. And so working with the Historical Society and working with Nick and Mark, we developed this survey. And so
If you turn to the first page of the handout that you've got in front of you, it's purpose of survey. And the purpose is to actually identify those little elements, those plaques, those statuary, those things like that that may get lost. And so it was to identify and document various elements within the built environment that contribute to the overall setting and feel of a location. And they are not buildings or structures. They are the plaques, the statues, the monuments, and other elements. And that's what we're focused on in this historic elements survey. And page 2 of the PowerPoint, backgrounds and reason. The small elements, again, if you think about the parks or you think about what's around the Feldheim Library, those statues and those plaques and those elements contribute to the sense of place that we associate with the library. Can you imagine not having that statue that's there, the war statue that's in the center at the northeast corner of that, and all the plaques that are around it? That's what adds to the built environment. And so by conducting a specific historic elements, it helps us to identify those elements and preserve them. That's the more important thing. When my team in Public Works, and for those of you that may or may not know, I'm the Public Works Director for the city. My engineering team is constantly doing updates and construction at different parks. You can look at Nicholson Park as an example of some of the work that we've done. But there are all these little elements that if we don't know they're there, they possibly could be lost. And so that's part of what drove us into this. And the more important thing is that the survey is going to create a database that interlinks to the city's GIS mapping. So we will actually, when we get done with the survey, we will actually be able to know what's in our parks that may not be obvious or may not be part of what an engineering survey may look at. And so that allows planners, that allows the engineers to identify and then protect in place or remove for preservation of those elements. The next page is how is survey conducted. So what we did is we set a date, September 13th, and the Historic Society, and we actually spent almost a year working on it. We, because of all the change in leadership that we had, we were kind of uncertain about whether or not to move forward or not. And so we finally said, it's time to move. And so the Historical Society put out an email to their newsletters and said, we're going to be doing this. We're going to do the training on conducting this. Please come. And so on the 13th, I had the opportunity and the pleasure to conduct training with about 7-8 people that were there. Several long-term people that I've known for 30 years in the community, similar to Chair Smith, people that I've known because I've been around this city for 30 years and I know the importance of the history in this community. So they came and it was simple tools. It was very simple for us to start this survey. So we asked them to have cell phone cameras. Everybody's got a cell phone. And then what we did is we would show them how to survey the area and then identify and take pictures and get the GIS coordinates on the element. So it might be something small as a plaque for somebody for a walkway, or it could be something very large, such as the statuary, or when we get into Meadowbrook Park, there's going to be a lot of elements that we're going to include. And so we said, be able to take a picture, take several pictures to fully document, and then include a ruler. And so we taught them, explained to them how to use your cell phone and how to access your GIS on your cell phone. And so we required them to take a picture of the element, and then we required them to set, with using their GIS, to take a picture of the coordinates. And then we developed a form that allowed them to actually document what they were seeing, so that if it was a plaque, what does the plaque say? And as many of you probably know, we've had a lot of theft over the years of plaques that we're constantly trying to figure out what was on those plaques and everything. So this way we have a documentation at a point in time of what was actually on the plaques to be able to recreate it. And then we set up a specific email address at the Historical Society that we taught everyone to be able to go and send the forms. So they would take the pictures of an element, they would document it, they'd write it down. We asked them to take a photo of the form and then send the photos of the element, the GIS coordinate, and the form to be able to tell us what it is. And we used some criteria for the elements. We looked at, and if you look at the page that says evaluation criteria for elements, we actually look at, in historic preservation, similar to what you do with historic resource surveys, you look at several things. For example, a criteria is resources associated with events that have made a significant contribution to the broad patterns of history. That's criteria A. Criteria B, resources associated with the lives of persons significant in our past. That might be a plaque. That might be a dedication of a plaque. Criteria C, resource embodies the distinctive characteristics of a type, period, or method of construction, the work of a master, or that possessing high artistic values. And I can tell you that one of the sites that we just did within the last 2 weeks was the Feldheim Library, and we were able to get really up close and personal with the beautiful statue. And when you get close to that, you can then appreciate that embodies the distinctive characteristics, the artwork, the information on the plaques. And then criteria D, which we don't expect, this is more for archaeological elements, is that it might yield something. You might see something and it might yield it. And so we did all that. If you look at survey form part 1, this basically gives you an idea of the data that we were collecting. Historic name, common name, street address, what the element type, original use, if it may have been something different, date constructed if we know it. Survey form part 2 gives, if we know the designer, if we know who erected it, we can put that in there. General conditions. If you go out to La Placida Park, there's an angel statue that's there that I believe is a war monument. It's been heavily damaged. We are in the process right now, as part of the Route 66 centennial next year, we are actually working on doing a renovation on that park. That angel statue, which is important to the community, is part of what will be renovated. So it's pretty badly damaged. So we document that. And then we write down on the form the longitude and latitude. That's the coordinates that tells us, in the grand scope of the world, where is this particular element located. And then anything like text on the element. So we actually, they're spending a lot of time writing down what's on the plaques on each one of these things. And on the Camp Cajon tables, that's really important because each one has a different kind of plaque that talks about distance to upland and everything. And so you capture those things, and then if something happens, you then have them. We finally then explain how to use the cameras, both the Android and the Apple. And so the last page, the summary of steps, explain walkthrough. We then did some field training. We had the volunteers go through and actually do this in our presence. So Mark, myself, and Nick were there, and we actually did a little bit of training around the historic site building to be able to do it, because it's what we call a target-rich environment. As of last weekend, we have done Lytle Creek Park. We identified all the Camp Cajon tables, so we have now full documentation. Full documentation on those. Excuse me. Full documentation on those tables. Plus, we found a couple of plaques that we didn't know about. One that dedicated a walkway. So we've got that park now done. We now know what's out there. Two of the volunteers, Sam Catalano very familiar with Paris Hill Park. He said, I will go up and start doing a lot of the documentation up there. And so he's gone up and done that survey. Another one of our volunteers has said, well, I'll go out to Meadowbrook Park and document it. So at this point in time, we've documented Lytle Creek, Paris Hill Park, Pioneer Park, and we may be working on Meadowbrook Park. Now, the reason why you look, and part of what I do when I'm out there is I kind of scope because I have an idea that we're looking. So when we were out there at the Feldheim Library a week and a half ago, there is a wall, a little concrete wall, about that wide, about that tall, on the west side of the Feldheim Library. The workmanship on it looks like the concrete work may have been done in the early 1900s. It has some interesting features on the top that you can see where it was poured in place. You can see the forms and you can see the bubbling of the concrete. And everything that I saw on that made it look like it was probably from the early 1900s. In addition, it had what looked like rebar sticking out of it in various places that had been cut off, as well as what looked like cleats that were cast into the top of the concrete. We believe at this moment, we're still doing the research, but we believe that may have been a remnant of the early pioneer cabin that was at that location. It may be the last part of that because it matches in general area where the cabin was. And that cabin, according to the research that was done by Nick Cataldo, the original cabin was built in 1903 on Court Street. It was then rebuilt, and then in 1911 it was built up there as part of the Pioneer Society. That's the last remnant of it. And so who would have thought that today we have a remnant of a historic building that, to somebody that didn't understand what they were looking at, thought it might have been a retaining wall. It might have been, if there was construction, they could have taken it out. Now we know that we've got that. And so that's the reason why we do this. And so with that, I'll open it up to questions.
I have a question. While you were there, did you come across the pyramid that was in the parking lot and
Yes.
discover any information? I was digging into that myself. I went to the California Library, dug out some history, took some pictures, and then you had a connection as well to see if we could get any more information.
But what we basically do is, because this is a field survey, we recognize that there might be additional information. For example, if there's missing plaques, we try to identify what might be.
That's what I was trying to get at. There's a plaque on one side, but there's one that looks like it's gone.
Yeah, it's actually, it actually was documented as part of the survey. I don't have any information.
I kinda got a feeling it's a time
I'm not
capsule.
dealing with the, I'm dealing with making sure I know what's out there. I'm not dealing with the historical significance, although at 9 o'clock at night, Nick Cataldo and everybody, we start emailing about, gee, we found this and found that. So I'm kind of getting roped into it because I love history, but I don't have personal information.
Robert and I are on an ad hoc committee, and I think it would behoove both of us to be able to do this, to get the forms and be able to document stuff as well. Can we do that and send it in?
We want to make sure that we're not duplicating it.
Okay.
So what we'd like to do is have you, when we're shut off now for the end of the year, we probably won't start until the January. What we would like to do is maybe invite you to come out,
That'd be
and then
great.
we'll coordinate it, because we still have several parks, Wildwood Park, for example, that we're probably going to need to do. There may be a couple of other park sites that we want to get a team out there. So we don't want to let you just go
Right.
and start
Go
documenting,
crazy,
because
yeah.
you may go out and do exactly what we've already
Rework something
documented.
that's already done. Yeah, the date on the pyramid, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, was 1928. So maybe that's in conjunction with the house that was there. It was kind of like an extra thing, and it was dedicated to the children of San Bernardino.
Yeah, I don't know, because when they built, I know that's where the municipal auditorium had been, was
Okay.
at that site. And I know we just celebrated the 40th anniversary of the Feldheim Library
Right.
at the end of, I think it was October.
Yeah.
And so I don't know what things were there prior to the construction of the
Gotcha.
Feldheim. So that may have been relocated
Oh, gotcha.
and everything. What we saw, as I said, it was unusual to see this, and we're still looking at some of the pictures. But that construction, because I kind of understand what the construction techniques are and what it looks like. That's why we saw that, because it looked like a darn. Why in the world do we have a?
Yeah, I drove by it. I'm like, how many times I drove by it? What is that? I got to get out of the car and look at it.
You're gonna have you'll have to stop by. It's on the west side of the Feldheim, right against the street. It's probably maybe a little longer than one of these tables.
Wow.
It's only this wide, this tall. But when
I
you
think
walk
I've
up
seen
to
it. I just wondered why wouldn't they just knock that down, leave that sticking up like that?
Who
It's kind of
knows?
weird.
And then maybe somebody at the time thought about, gee, this is an element of historic preservation, and that's that they protected it. I don't know. It was kind of a unique discovery. That's why I shared it with the commission. Is that sometimes you don't know what you're really going to see, but it's not a building anymore.
Right.
It's really an element.
There was one other thing that I noticed that happened. There was a church that was taken down with stained glass windows on East Street. There was a cornerstone there that got taken away from the site before anybody was told it was a cornerstone, and it was taken up to the mountains and broken into. Now, how do we prevent things like that from stopping?
That I don't have an answer for that. Most of the stuff that we are working on right now is on city property. There are buildings, and there is the old meeting hall for the Pioneers Society is now part of the Catholic Church that's there.
Oh.
We actually could look through the wrought iron fencing and see the plaque, but it's no longer a city element. Those would be things that you would want to look at in possibly your historic preservation municipal code or other kinds of protection.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Just one question. You know, I'm a longtime member of the Native Sons of the Golden West, and I'm sure we have dedicated many plaques over the years. Since you're doing all of this research, is there some way that you could identify some of the plaques that we've dedicated so that we can have that in our library? Because we're starting to now talk about dedicating other areas of San Bernardino. Is that a possibility?
Well, I would answer it this way. The intent really is to protect that which is on city property, because that's where your potential for loss really is of these elements.
Okay.
That's where you also expect that you're going to have plaques and other things. Again, if it's private property, I would think that the Native Sons would have a better list than probably anything we have,
Right, like
Okay.
and it
records
would
of
be
the
something
purchase.
that you would look
Records
at
of the
to
purchase
protect.
of the plaques.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Commissioner Smith?
Yes.
She said some of the old tables were destroyed at Parasol Park, and their plaques. I remember going out there myself and taking pictures of all of them, and I probably could look them up. They're probably online. Like, is there any way to add to these databases? So you got a database, and for the city property historical spots, you're adding in photography, GPS coordinates, various elements, but not the actual architecture and things like that, right?
Well, the architecture is really something that's more for a building, to be
Okay.
honest with you, Commissioner Porter.
Okay.
The elements, what you're really looking at is a plaque, is a statue, is those elements. So you really wouldn't have necessarily an architect involved in.
Well, no, an archaeologist. I mean, when we would do a historical survey, we would actually have the previous site records there with us, and then we go and then we look and see if those elements are still there, if they've been remodeled, removed, whatever. But that's not what I'm getting at. I'm getting at, how do we add information to this in the future? You've been here 30 years, but I guarantee that someday you'll retire, right? And this is
Probably die, but that's okay.
No, but someday people are going to always want to add to this, right? So that's what I want to look at for our future, is as we do this, keep in mind that it's going to be constantly added to, because every single second we get older, right? Every single second actually something becomes historic, right? So these things, and then also one thing that I did when I did survey of historical spots was I did a video survey, and I know that takes more, memory and things like that. but it was invaluable later on when we had to relook at that, and we only, you know, when you only have photographs, you can't get as much information.
Yeah, and that is a good technique, I don't disagree, except that with the volunteers and trying to get this done, we do what we're doing. It was a methodology that we developed in conjunction with the Historical Society. It does work, but absolutely the richness of the record that you're talking about is always important in historic preservation. I go back to my wall of my cabin. We're trying to determine if that really is the wall. The other thing is that we are constantly dedicating new elements. And so when we dedicate a plaque, and I can think of, you know, in my time at the city from 94 to 2004, there are several elements by the old City Hall building that I know what they were, and a couple of them, they're missing the plaques. And so when we dedicate, that's when we should be putting those in as well, that we take the picture, we document it so that that database continues to absorb and continues to have those additional new elements, because, you know, we dedicate, you know, all the time in terms of it. Case in point, the stainless steel statuary that's in front of the old City Hall building. We had a couple of questions on that, and we had to really dig hard to try to find the information. That's a historic element. That's something that needs to be in there. And yet it's not what we consider to be old. It's relatively modern. I think it came, I was surprised that it was during the time I was here, and I actually don't remember any of it, but maybe I was, you know, focused on other aspects of the city when I was here before. So yes, we ought to be adding to it.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for doing this. I appreciate, I mean, Nick showed me that corner several times. I haven't looked myself. I'll go look to see if there's some lump lime or something there for you. The thing is, if you could just focus on making sure there's enough space in that Excel spreadsheet or whatever it is, that if somebody wants to add some information later, a photograph or whatever, something comes to light, a new dedication, we can do it, and it's not super hard.
It'll be something, it won't be something that is maintained by the Historical Society, although we've been using it. Our intent is to move that information over to the city, and so it would then become the Historic Commission's responsibility to potentially identify those new resources and ask to have them included, or to do the survey work that we talked about.
And putting you guys to work. We're good at that.
I've actually taken this on kind of as a labor of love because of my love for the city and my love for the history. It's really not part of my formal job duties. It kind of fits under that other duties as assigned. But I took this on because I felt that it was important to the community that we don't lose those elements.
And that's why I like you.
Ditto.
Well, thank you. That's why, because, you know, I know the richness of the city and the richness of the history and everything, and that's why I think it's important, because how quickly we could lose an element without even knowing it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I'm done, Commissioner Smith. Excellent. Thank you.
all right. Any other questions?
I do have a question. Can you share more about the volunteers? How many volunteers, where do they come from?
They're basically residents of the community. Sam Catalano was one of them. I've known Sam since he was the general manager of the Carousel Mall 30 years ago. And he's very dedicated, and that's what we have, is it's just residents who have an interest in preserving it. And we've got one young man, Christian, that you guys probably do know. I don't have his last name. Very enthusiastic about it. But it's really just people that are members of the Historical Society that wanted to participate in this. So it wasn't really any formal. I did the training so that I made sure that we had a consistency. And Mark Landis and Nick and I are also going through and looking at it to make sure that we've got everything that we need in the database.
And then also, I want to follow up with the database. Is that available to the public? Is there like a map GIS where people can just go in and
At this point,
check their
no.
neighborhood?
It's actually being developed. We hope that when we transfer all the data over, that we are able to put this onto a map and possibly be able to use it as an information tool. But at this point, it's still being developed by the Historical Society, and then we're going to have to make the transfer over. That's why the GPS is so important, is because once we transfer that information, we can then put that on a map and be able to geocode it so that you can say, gee, where's that wall, you know, that Director Merrill was talking about? You can go onto that website. Ultimately, that's where we'd like to take it, but it's still kind of a work in progress in that respect.
In the future, or maybe currently, are you planning to work with Esri?
We use Esri on our GIS already, so yes, we're using all of the tools that are available to us.
Because I believe they have a special program that's called, is it Story Map or something like that? But also, one recommendation maybe in the future, what you can also do is, like, now people are into QR codes. So if they go up to a site, they can take a photo, and there's a verbal history of that site.
That's actually an excellent idea. But again, you know, the scope for me was to simply get the documentation there. What the city may use it for, how they may add to it. Quite honestly, my intent is that once we're done with this effort, then whether I stay involved or stay, you know, a step away, I've done at least that portion that really affects the Public Works Department and everything like that. So how we use it, that may be things that the commission may want to consider in the future. And we will, once we've kind of identified everything and have gotten all the data, you know, it'll probably be sometime next year that we actually finish it. We'll come back and we'll tell you what we found. We'll share it with you. And so as we get ready to kind of transfer it over from the Historical Society over to the city, we'll make sure it doesn't have any viruses in it. We make sure that, you know, it comes over, and hopefully then we can figure out how to do the mapping and be able to get that so it becomes a usable tool for you.
Thank you. It shows that you go above and beyond on your passion. So thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you.
One other question. On the elements for D, I was wondering about non-visual elements, things that you can't see that are in the ground. I don't think that was covered, like graves, sites, arrowheads that are found, dinosaur bones.
We are only doing that which is above ground that are monuments in the survey.
So are you using things to look into the ground to see? Okay.
No, we are very low tech.
Is that in the far future?
I wouldn't even, that would be something the city would need to decide if they wanted to do that. Typically what will happen is that if you had a development that was coming in or something, you do retain the Native Americans have consultation. You do have the requirement through the State Office of Historic Preservation to conduct certain surveys and to identify. Sometimes you do on a construction site, they will put an archaeologist or somebody that is trained to look for those elements. But this is strictly above ground.
Gotcha.
This is just looking at the built environment and that subcomponent
Understood.
of the elements.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Appreciate what you presented to us today. It was very informative.
That's cool.
We look forward to bringing the final results back to you probably sometime in late spring or early summer.
Sounds good. Looking forward to
Thank
it.
I'll volunteer to share this with the Native Sons organization.
We'll figure out how to actually promote it and everything. We're still trying to make sure we get all the data and get it
Sounds good.
processed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lynn. Okay. So we don't have any grant recipient presentation, so we can
Yes.
continue.
So we'll have the approval of the draft minutes of the last meeting.
No motion.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved? Department Directors report.
Alrighty, update, on October 24th, we posted the California Arts Council, state organization in San Bernardino, to do a site visit, and as we were deemed semi-finalists to be a cultural district designation, and so that took place. Felt it went very well. Had a community roundtable, a lot of Q&A, a lot of shared information. Talked about the corridor and the cultural district of that, and then we did a little tour within the corridor. We had a 3-hour window, so we made it quick, and so we ended at in downtown at 4th and E. The Soul Alley was hosting pop-up. Stronger Together now had their doors open, and Creative Grounds had theirs open, and there was music and food, and we had just hosted the State of the City, so all the lights for the California Theater were on. So and then three little bluebirds, which is part of that business area as well. Took a little tour down there. So overall, went well. The notification, if we are finalists, is in December, Michael? Is that right?
Mid-December or January.
December,
early
January.
Yeah.
So
Is
we'll
there
know
any
then.
way to lobby, or?
Is there lobbying?
I don't think so.
No. But the continuum, whether we do receive it, become finalists or not, the momentum and the passion and the push to continue with the cultural arts within in the city in general, but within the downtown corridor, or the East Street corridor, I should say. You want to add anything, Michael? Michael, as representative of the Garcia Center, is part of it.
I think you covered most of it. I think we're waiting to hear back.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, we're just working on a resolution to present to the city and get city support to start pushing forward the policy either way. So I guess as a commission, the ask would just be a letter of support from the commission to go to council once we have that resolution ready.
Yeah, that's a cool designation.
Mhm. Yeah.
I have a question. Do we know who we're going against? What other cities? They don't share that?
I'm not sure if that's available.
Alright, thank you.
Yeah, I just know we're like top 20 out of 70 applications.
Wow.
So I think we have
Honorable
a
right there.
1 out of 4 chance.
I think they said they were going to designate 4 or 5 out
Yeah,
of
5 out of the
5 out
20.
of the 20. And this is across the state, so.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
sweet.
Yeah.
Kind of like a Bloomberg grant.
In a sense, yeah. Yeah. All right.
And that's a lot, so if it doesn't happen this year, next year, right? Next year. But this year is gonna happen.
It's gonna happen. Okay. CIP update. Lynn shared a little bit about Nicholson. Nicholson is coming to final phase of completion, and the seeding and the sod, everything went down in the grass. So there's, as soon as that and all the punch list is completed, then there is a 90-day maintenance period. So from that day to 90 days, then we'll be able to get access. So we don't have the final date of completion yet. It could be next week. It could be December 1st. It could even be pushed to even January, as long as weather and holds up and whatnot. But so we're hoping that we could do a full grand opening the end of February or early March. At this rate, at this time, and plan of how things have been going in the trajectory, we're looking at the beginning of March to host a ribbon cutting for Nicholson. Secum is still in the works. They're moving along. If you drive by, you can see that the playground is going in. The gazebo is getting worked on.
And the ducks.
I see them flapping around and swimming, so.
Those are okay.
I think the ducks are
I
okay.
don't want 'em moving away.
No, I think they're still there. It's actually, they have it fenced off, so they're kind of not touching that side right now. We said Nicholson, Spiker. Oh wait, second one, Spikers, and the other one we're finishing. We're looking at spring. Hopefully that will complete then. We had some delays on things from SCE in terms of connections and power. There's always these new regulations and new laws that take into effect as projects happen. And see what else is in the. Those are the main ones right now.
I
We're
have
having.
another question.
Yes, sir.
Like I was talking to Liddy back in the day about at Lake Arrowhead they sell duck food, right? So they make money. But I don't know.
That's something as far as for second. Yeah, there's plans for programming and activities for second once we have it back under our realm. Cool. But yes, the other La Plaza Park. He mentioned the Angel. The Angel is part of the scope in terms of the construction.
Bronze, but where are they looking
I'm
at?
not sure. Not sure yet.
Yeah,
That's
like
something we
I
get
kind
to
of,
vote on?
yeah, I would like that to come before us
Yeah.
before they just jump on that, if we could, because we want to keep them happy, right? The people that have literally like put all their weight behind this, right? And if we just go willy-nilly, right?
Yeah,
want to make
it's
sure that,
it's going to definitely be assessed to see what is deemed the best option to either repair, preserve it, or if there is another alternative.
like those, put some bronze wings on it, like
Make a mold
cat-
out of it,
yeah.
turn it into bronze.
Yeah, so
It's just so
yeah,
cool. It is. Man, this is going to be hard.
Yeah, but it's still part of the scope and the layout. Some layout movements will happen. We had a small informal and community input meeting. We'll be hosting a formal community input meeting in potentially January.
Okay.
But at that point, it'll be more like actual rendering. So I just had a meeting with the architect this morning.
Okay.
So they're coming up with some concepts that are fitting with the area and the community, and it being on Route 66.
They'll be so happy because they've been fighting so long to get that angel fixed.
You know, it has
A couple
been.
years.
Yes, yes.
I do have a question about statues. That's a good example. The statue that's in front of the City Hall, the MLK statue, I noticed that there's posts around it, but it looks unfinished. Now, that's not a city project, right? I thought there was a different organizations that were working on that. Or what's the
MLK,
status?
about the MLK?
Yeah.
So the posts have been officially removed.
Okay.
They were removed about a month and a half ago.
Ooh.
Yeah, so there was fencing added because of the constant vandalism that was taking place with MLK and the hand
Yeah.
getting destroyed and other things. And so the fencing went on and then the fencing came off. And so the posts were there for quite some time, and then just more recently, the posts were completely removed. So it's completely open. Let's see, what else? Guadalupe, that's almost done. Most of the other stuff right now is ball fields and parks. So that's the CIP there. Events. So
Before we go there.
Yes, sir.
There's a couple of things that Mr. Merrill has been working on that wasn't part of his presentation today. Any update on what might be happening in the future with City Hall? He's working on
that,
possibly.
yeah, that I don't have that information.
Okay. And second of all, he was going to talk possibly about, I can't recall right now, but there's a couple other things that he was working on, but that's fine if you don't know that information.
Yeah, the last, as far as with City Hall, they're still doing assessments.
Assessments, okay.
Mhm.
That's all I need to know.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And The other thing doesn't come to mind. Go
Okay.
ahead.
Do you have?
I think just the grant recipients, I just wanted to state that Arts Connection is here, but I don't know if it was too
Oh, yeah.
late to have them do their presentation and where we can fit it in. If we want to move back to that later on after the report.
Okay. Sorry, Ulysses. And I saw you come in too. We could finish director's report, it won't take too much longer, and then up to the discretion of the chairperson if you would like to have Ulysses present, if you want to go back to it in the agenda.
As far as next month's meeting?
No, so for presentations, Arts Connection
Okay.
is one of the recipients of the VPL LA grant, and so he's here to share.
That's fine.
So we can finish director's report and then we can go back to
Great. Be glad to
presentation.
recognize him at the proper time.
Okay. Okay, let me just finish up. So special events, we have a couple more for the end of the year. You have, on December 4th, we have our tree lighting. We are relocating the tree this year. We're gonna be in front of City Hall. So that's where the tree lighting will take place. We still will have the large decorated walkthrough ornaments and decor that's gonna be all throughout, like the Court Street element. It'll still be part of Miracle on Court. But then actual Miracle on Court is gonna open up on December 10th, and it'll be for 12 days. And we'll have the synthetic ice skating. We'll have the train on the weekends. Still all the decor, all the activities. Our s'more station, we're gonna hopefully move it and be a little bit more inclusive. We have community partners that are hosting every night. Arrowhead United Way is hosting, and Acoma to the school district is hosting a night. Let's see who else is hosting. Music Changing Lives is hosting a night as well. So we have a lot of community partners that are going to be hosting. So it's going to be fun. We'll still have letters to Santa.
Good work.
We'll still need volunteers to respond to letters to Santa. So you'll expect that email to come out. And then we are asking the community partners to have a holiday character or Santa out for pictures. That's up to them, whichever one they choose. And then Arts Connection is also partnering with El Sol. They're hosting a night as well. So we still have, I think, 1 or 2 days available. So if there's an organization that you feel that could be a strong community partner, please send them my way. Yes.
When you say hosting, what does it entail?
The host means they handle the activity or craft for the children or families. We have Comet's Cafe or Cupid's Cafe. I keep getting confused. And so they can use it if it's a nonprofit. They can use it as a fundraising opportunity and sell hot chocolate, coffee, pastries at a small, reasonable cost. Or if they have a sponsor, if they want to give it out for free, they're more than welcome to give it out for free. They have a booth, and it's more of engaging with the community. There is story time as well every night, so they are to host the story time. So it's a few elements that are there that they are part of it. So it's more of bringing out their community out to the night and support it. In some cases,
how much does it cost?
For skating, it'll be $10.
No, I mean to sponsor the night.
It depends on the organization. It could, some have received sponsorship to pay to get tickets to give out to families or whoever to go skating.
Okay.
They've had that. The school district paid for.
Pal Charter Academy.
Pal Charter.
Yeah, and Mr. Radden is a real cool dude.
Mm.
Yeah, he likes to sponsor things that are good for the community.
Okay. And we can definitely connect with him on that.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, that's what the community, the partner entails. And see what else. And then Breakfast with Santa will be on December 20th. It's in the morning. We'll have a double day that day, but it's okay. And then we'll have Santa roaming around with pictures. We partner with Project Fighting Chance. They help support the breakfast element. And that's what we'll wrap up for 2025. As we are having conversations for 2026 and hosting Lunar New Year on February 21st. So we already have that in the works.
Can you do a few more events for us? I don't think this is enough.
And then we do know that there is an MLK parade on January 19th. So we'll have a small part in that as well. So that's that for events. And then I put on here commission meetings. I know we had talked about having we can have a group meeting with us, you know, in no more than two at a time, maybe three max, or even one-on-ones, just to kind of talk about the Arts and Historical Commission as a whole. And we had talked about, you know, establishing some goals and establishing some elements. Having those conversations. We can have the ad hoc committee meetings as well to kind of talk about where we're at, what type of resources and what things that we can work on collectively. And you know, we have our department works with all the departments. You know, we have to have a really strong community, you know, connection and professional network, especially with public works and economic development and community development. So. They all tie in. Even at Animal Services, we have a couple of dog parks, so we're wanting to continue to build those relationships. So I have it on here just to kind of see if some best options for each of you to kind of think about in terms of scheduling some meeting times, so that way we kind of create this, and then that also helps with the trajectory of the commission and establishing my director's report and staff time, as well as you as a commission being out in the community, and you guys are out because that you're representing that, and want to make sure that our constituents are getting the information.
So the meetings would be with you?
Yes, ma'am.
And we'd contact you to set a date and time?
I think I'll Lisa send out emails, but just think about some best days and times and options, whether it be mornings, afternoons, you know, late, you know, evenings. I'm usually in the office sometimes around till 6:30 on some days. Just depends on my schedule, but.
We gotta make it at least 8:30.
I don't sleep much, but I do have an adopted puppy that I got to get to these days. So, but yeah, so that's why I just wanted to put that on there. Other than that, I don't have anything else in director's report unless you have any questions. No.
Just thank you for doing the Miracle on Park Street. I think it's been like one of the most successful city events for sure. It's really awesome.
I appreciate that.
And thank you for not throwing it away because someone else, you know, left out of nowhere, right? I mean, this is really thrown on everybody. So it's maintained, it's going, and we're going to make this 10 years of it.
Yes, we will.
Forever.
Forever, ever. So, on that note, co-chair, do you want to, Mr.?
I do have one item to just add or ask. I remember last meeting that I was in, we talked about Veterans Day and the banner program, and I do want to recognize Councilwoman Marquez and thank you for that program. You're the one that started that. Yes. Is there any talk about moving that forward or bringing that back? Or the banners that went up and down Mount Vernon, or extending that into Mount Vernon and East Street and throughout.
So as far as the actual Military Heroes program or the Military Banner program, it's still active in existence. We had a small hiccup with the banners, and so we are looking at with the capacity and the number that we are receiving, looking at outsourcing the banners, the printing and the sewing. It's a lot to do in-house because if we were doing it in-house. And so we are looking at what that cost is gonna be, and if they're gonna be, if the vendor would be, we have to do the bids and, or not so much bids, but get the quotes and see if the, vendor could not only, print for us, we'll do the design in-house, we already have it, and then outsource it for, printing for sure, and potentially, if they're able to hang as well. Our Public Works O&M, it's a lot to hang for the number of banners. We're at 135 right now. 139 counting the gold stars. So as far as getting them back up and getting them back in rotation, yes, it's not going to go away. It's just a matter of putting it out there, and then there is a price point as well for the banners because they are not cheap, but at the same time we're also looking and assessing the locations of the banners of where they were at, and if we can switch them from shorter poles to taller poles, because in the last time that they were up, several were either vandalized or a vehicle drove by and just kind of hit them, and so we're looking at placement of them being up higher. I was also shared that we have a location off of where they told me? Kendall, off of Kendall between University.
Yeah, the university
and-
uses that whole street going up to the freeway
Yeah.
for their
So
college
there's
students.
posts that we can have access to as well. So we're looking at different locations and being strategic with the banners themselves. And just like with Lynn and the project of the historical, GISing, eventually that I would like for the banners to get put up and they be set in a location, and a family can look up the location and go to their website and check the name and say, oh yeah, they're right here on E and Court.
On Stevens, can we get the I cooked SOS removed up the bottom there?
Yeah.
It's always a guessing game every year. I'm like, okay, where am I going to be this year?
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
But it's fun. I'm grateful it's there. I
Well, you
appreciate.
get to be in all parts of the city.
Right,
that's
I
all.
get around.
You get around.
Can you say SOS on video or on record? SOS.
Yeah,
So,
you can. But it was biscuits and gravy. We didn't
Well, that's what
make
I
no
was saying.
doo-doo.
Okay. Anything else?
I just remembered the other item that Mr. Merrill's working on. It's a longer term, but it's a carousel mall. That's one of his goals, to revitalize the carousel mall. I just wanted to
I
share
think
that.
that's several of our goals to get Paris
Good goal.
something there.
That's it, one of his goals.
Yes.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, okay. Well, I'm done with the director's report unless anybody has any questions. Mr. Chairperson, if you want to go, back to presentation for Arts Connection.
Yes, go ahead, please.
How are you all? Thank
Good.
you so much for having me. Do apologize for the tardiness. Just
Could you
schedules.
identify who you are, please?
I'm so sorry.
Your name?
My name is Ulises. I get to be the Associate Director for Arts Connection. We serve as the Arts Council for San Bernardino County. We are also the state local partner for the California Arts Council. And we've been here in San Bernardino since our founding date up to 2013.
Thank you.
Of course. Yeah, super happy to be here. Like I mentioned, I do apologize for the tardiness. We're just dealing with a lot, especially during the times of like getting off work closer to 4, so sometimes it's hard to get here to this meeting sometime. But I'm happy to be here to share some of the great outcome that we had through the BPLA grant that we received back in 2023. Through this grant, we had 28 different events that took place in collaboration with Creative Grounds. Part of those events were to showcase a series of workshops enhancing the visual arts, enhancing the music arts, enhancing literacy arts, and that was done through different open mics, that was done through screen printing workshops, even mural skill development for those who are trying to become muralists in our cities. And we also did a series of creative sounds that was able to enhance a lot of the participants, engage with a lot of the community members that were there attending, and to continue to create career development opportunities for artists in our city. We had an average of about 22 different participants per each workshop. So at the end of the grant, we impacted about 450 youth and artists that are now currently investing their time and creativity in our city. I think it's also important to highlight that during this time, Arts Connection, part of the way that we are able to serve as a support system for this type of grants is that we basically handle all data collection, data analysis, re-granting, because we paid every artist that facilitated the workshops. We also continue to do more data research through surveys, and allows us to also continue to bring in and reach out for understand the type of resources that are needed with our cities, within our city, and then continue to reach out for those opportunities, which are services that we're always happy to share and partner up with all of you. If there's an opportunity, or if you guys are ever looking for something like that, that is something that we're more than happy to help and support. One really cool thing that came out of the VPLA is this was one of the opportunities that we had to really help us collect that data and enhance the need of resources in our community, which then allowed us to continue to receive more opportunities, such as the Clean California grant, which allowed us to revitalize the Soul Alley, which is now, we just recently did a ribbon cutting ceremony. We also were able to now, in collaboration with so many partners and artists, because we could not be doing this alone, but in creating that sense of community and effort, we are also able to apply for the Cultural Districts grant, in which, like Vanessa was mentioning, we are some of the finalists. We don't know who the finalists are. They don't want to tell us that. I do know that there was 20 finalists, there's 10 assignations, and one of the finalists withdrew their application, so now we're one application closer to getting it. So we're actually we're within the 19 top to receive the funding. In their application, it shows like there actually might be, it says up to 10 assignations. Assuming, hopefully they do all of them, so we have a very good chance that our East Street corridor will become the next state-recognized cultural district. But we don't stop there. We continue to create partnerships and to continue to enhance the voices of our communities, to also get the city assignation, and to continue to develop more opportunities for artists, and to continue to enhance just the lives of our community through the arts. Yeah.
On the funding amount, what is the amount they're offering for this 4 or 5 grants they're going to give away for that cultural?
For the cultural districts?
Yeah.
The funding is it's nothing. It's basically $10,000 for 2 years. So it's
gotcha.
$5,000 a year, assuming we receive it. But it's not really about the funding that comes with this grant. It's about the assignation and opportunity that comes along with how we can really leverage that
Towards other
assignation.
grants?
For
Alright.
housing,
Okay. Great.
protections, for artist residencies, for even our city to be able to maybe allocate more funding
Great.
for that.
Perfect.
And even preserve historical monuments
Resignation.
and around our city, because now it is within our duty to preserve that designation.
Correct. Thank you.
Of course. Yes.
I went to a cool artist district in, I think it was Anaheim. No, it was Pasadena.
Okay.
And they had studios that were just for artists. And, like, only an artist could get in them, but they had to open it up once a month for the whole community to walk in their home and everything. It was It's quite the experience. But the question I do have for you, based on the grant, is do you feel that your organization fulfilled the spirit of the grant that you applied for here with our commission?
I believe our community is fulfilling the voice of the grant. Arts Connection is not the voice. We are just the backbone that supports the community to enhance the voices, and we do it in partnership with amazing people such as the Garcia Center, Generation Now, or Parks and Rec city, our city officials who are supporting this movement. But everything is being guided by community and being led by community through community listening sessions, and they're the ones who give us the data so that we can then put together the narrative we want to present. And I think that's what makes us so strong in comparison to other cities who a lot of the times they think they know what they're doing without the feedback of community.
Well, thank you.
Of course.
I do have a
Sounds-
question. Sorry, you can go. Continue.
Sounds like you're doing great things. I
Thank you.
wonder, aside from, of course, funding, what are your problems and challenges? You've told us all the positives, and those are great, wonderful things, but what are your challenges and how can we help?
That is a great question. I think number one challenge is always the resources. For example, with this grant, assuming we receive the grant for the cultural districts, we will be receiving $10,000, and it will be dispersed in two different ways, like two different checks, like $5,000 one year, $1,000 1 year. The next, this is assuming we receive the funding. On the meantime, Arts Connection, in support with some of our board members and partners, like we're upfronting the resources that are needed because we understand this is a great investment that our city needs. So as of now, we're close to like already $10,000 in investments without knowing if it's gonna come back. But this is why it's so important to continue the work with community and especially like tables like yourselves, so that we can then present these resources. So we don't just put all our chips in a state assignation for a cultural district, but we also continue to create that backbone to then go and continue that city assignation and preserve it. This is not, once you get it, it doesn't end there. That's really when the work starts. So the support from you guys, the collaborations, the partnerships, the friendships, that is really where our strength lies. So that we can tackle those challenges together, the fundings, the communication with our artists, like activating more spaces, such as the Garcia Center already available there, but like we can activate more spaces with the city buildings that are currently available on certain times, and activities like we are doing now with in partnership with Parks and Rec, like we, for December 13th, we're moving our arts walk that we've been hosting once a month. We decided to move the date to enhance the event that you guys are already having, because that would only make it better. So I think those are some of the challenges we're always facing, and the funding, and be able to tackle those important issues that we have, which is housing for artists, housing for keeping housing affordable for just community in general, finding job opportunities for artists so they don't have to go different places like LA, Orange County, Coachella, I don't know, anywhere else, but like we can keep it here in the city.
I had seen where Ireland approved a $1,500 a month basic artist income.
I know.
Let's work on that together.
I would love that. I know.
Holy smokes, we're gonna change the world in this commission.
I know.
Why not?
I was like, if we change the zip code to one in Ireland, just.
That's awesome.
Or move.
No, I like it here. We just.
Well, yeah, I like it here, definitely. Yeah,
It should be that way.
it should. Yeah. Something.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Of course.
I do have a question.
Yes.
Actually, I believe for staff, do we know the amount of the grant? Was it the same for all recipients? And if
For
so,
what? For what grant?
For the,
The BPLA.
yeah.
The year we
No,
got
the-
7,000, right? Or was it less?
The VPO, there were different amounts, weren't they? They weren't all the same.
Different amounts.
They were all different amounts.
There were different
Yeah.
They were
amounts.
different amounts.
Yeah.
I don't know the.
Based on percentages.
Mhm.
That I can speak in behalf to what we received. We received $8,300, and
Okay.
that does not pay support 28 different workshops and happenings. That definitely allows us to cover some of the artist expenses, but that does not communicate to the artist staff that is within our team, that is fully dedicated to support, coordinate, do data gathering, data research. But I think that's where we come in, and we're able to facilitate that, because that type of money will not be able to cover the expenses for someone else doing it. So I think that re-granting is really our forte, where we are able to collect some of the data, disperse it, and give it away, not give it away, but give it to our dedicated artists, and then all we do is do what we love best, which is our data research, data analysis, and then continue to bring in more resources.
I do want to say thank you for presenting. I know that the Art Connection does a lot in our city, and I have to be transparent. I am a board member of the Art Connection, and what they do is amazing. They go above and beyond. They can move to any city within the county of San Bernardino. They could be in Rancho Cucamonga, Big Bear, Yucca Valley, but they decide to have San Bernardino as the main city, the home city. And we've seen that they invest in our cities, especially our city. They do projects. They hand in hand go with the city, and they're at all levels advocating for the art community and our community also. Right now, Alejandro came back. He was up in the state, right?
He just came back from Sacramento with the California Advocates.
So yes, Alejandro, our executive director, was up in the state. They're going nationwide also, advocating for the art community, the students that are going in within that community. And I want to say thank you for opening your doors also for the West Side, because I am a teacher on the West Side, and our students are very impacted by your mission. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Of course, thank you. Thank you.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Next item, please.
Discussion,
Any discussion on the presentation?
be, item numbers, moving on to discussion of the agenda.
Okay. Meeting time change.
You wanna,
Well, we've talked about 5 times, and does anybody have a motion on,
I motion for 4 o'clock.
is there a second to that? Okay.
Could I make a substitute motion for 6 p.m.?
Well, not on the same motion, it has to be a separate motion. Parliamentarian, separate motion?
Well, we
So
have
there
a
is a-
motion on the floor, 4 o'clock. I think we
There's a
need to
motion
take.
on-
so there's a motion from Bilak, for a second, for a second by, Darlene.
Yes.
Yes? Is that correct?
Yes. Okay.
So I
If
think.
there's also a second motion for 6.
Vote on one first, and then
So we
second.
have to vote
Well,
on the
our
first one.
last
We have to
meeting,
vote on the first one first.
we were gonna
Mhm.
just make a motion, one motion today for 4 o'clock. We were gonna make a decision whether that up or down. Is that correct?
It's,
I thought
we
we
can't
should
keep,
vote on
yeah,
it.
I mean, if you wanna, before any, well, I mean, we already have a motion on the table, so, I
Okay.
mean, I would have advised for you to, have an open
Discussion
discussion before a motion, but the motion's there. So since the motion is there and there is a second, you do have to vote on it.
Okay.
So chairperson, you'd have to call for,
I'll call for the,
What do we vote on?
all in favor of the 4 o'clock time? Say aye.
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 1, 2, 3, 4.
I would like to do a verbal if if you guys
Yeah.
don't mind,
Sure.
so that we can have it for the clearly for the record.
Okay.
Okay, so we have Commissioner Curry,
Aye.
Commissioner Segura,
No.
Commissioner Suarez,
Nay.
Commissioner Herrera,
Aye.
Commissioner Porter,
Aye.
Commissioner Smith,
Aye.
and Commissioner Bilak.
Aye.
Okay? So that would be 5 ayes and 2 noes.
Okay, so
Thank you.
motion passes
Motion
to,
passes.
You'll need to run the second motion.
Okay,
passes at 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock.
Yes,
Thank you very much.
okay.
Could I make a statement?
Yes.
Yes. So I know that we voted right now and it went to 4 p.m., so it stays for 4 p.m. But I just want to let the audience know and the community will know also that it's almost like being hypocrites. I mean, right now we were talking about the cultural district destination, and there's a lot of community organizations involved with that. However, they're working. Our community is a working group. Okay. Some of them, time is money for them. Okay. And at 5 p.m., that's where most of our community comes out from the workforce, right? It's hard to get in traffic, make it here. That's why our city council meetings also have been starting, hopefully a little later, right? I just see that I don't know how we're being friendly to the art community. And I completely understand that some of us are retired, some of us are unemployed, and that makes it free for you to be here. But as moving forward, I'll be here at 4, but also I look for change in the future, soon, a very close future, for this to come back. Thank you.
Any further discussion?
Okay. Item 7, chairperson, ad hoc committee tabled, to discuss, reestablish murals and sister city ad hoc committees.
Okay. That was continued, right?
It was, yes, it's a continued item from the last meeting.
Okay.
I can talk for hours.
Go ahead, please.
So me and Steven are kind of like, part of it was today. That was
Yeah,
awesome.
I'm hearing that like
That's-
music
yeah,
to my ears.
Yeah, yeah, like
Hold
we're-
on, hold on. You're referring to the historical ad hoc?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
that
Okay.
would be the next item.
Oh, okay, okay,
So
we're one ahead, all
the
right.
discussion was, or the item is for the commission to discuss, adding the ad hoc committees. So
Oh,
there's
okay.
the Sister City Act, ad hoc, and then, there was a discussion
see
about
that.
murals, unless you wanted the murals to be part of the, wasn't there a committee, public art ad hoc?
So we're voting to put a person.
To have the discussion about it,
Oh,
if
okay.
we want to, if you want to have them, if you don't, and if you do, who would, be sitting on those ad
Yeah,
hocs?
if you wanted the sister cities to be incorporated into your historical monuments, if you wanted to keep them separate, if you wanted to keep murals out of it, because murals kind of falls under, I believe,
The public art.
public art, under that policy that's still be developed, or how you guys wanted to do that, and how you wanted to visually see that.
And that committee has been dormant since the last time they were kind of looking at this stuff, huh?
Didn't we have one where Robert had a new
The
ad
last
hoc?
time it was with, at the
Right,
time, the
sorry,
commissioner, Tanya
Tanya Hensley.
Rhodes
Yeah.
Henley was her and.
But didn't
I don't remember
Michael
who
and
else.
Victor sign up for an ad hoc?
They
think we're
are
the
community
community
engagement.
Oh, there we go. Thank you.
Part of why we're pushing
Okay,
for
gotcha.
community engagement things.
Makes sense.
Yes,
Okay.
they,
So the
The gentlemen
sister
are
cities and the
community
murals is what you're.
Yes.
you're
Yeah, we can
asking
tie
about.
them, we can tie them in to have, not have as many ad hocs, or you guys can discuss of, having them as separate.
I think sister cities and historical should probably go together because the stuff we get from sister cities most of it is historical.
Yeah,
I mean,
pretty much.
Are we getting any more new stuff from any
Not
sister
that I'm
cities?
aware of.
There you go.
So
But
that-
I'm not aware of, we
Okay.
could be.
Right, right.
Yeah, that's something we could look into too.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Well, you need a beat.
Yes.
You can buy me lunch.
I think
Sure.
we did actually get something more recent from one of the cities in Mexico, but I'm not sure exactly
Okay.
what it was.
Wait, before,
Is that getting
Can you make me
documented?
pizza?
I hope. Come on now.
That would be part of the question.
Okay.
I know, yes, we do.
Entertain a motion, we combine both committees, is that correct?
Yeah.
I think that make
Would
it
that be
easier.
your motion?
Yeah, but
So you're
not
looking-
with murals though. We
No.
want to compare them, that's a completely
No,
different
just,
subject.
So
just
just, I
community
mean,
and historical
yeah,
line.
just
Yeah,
having a
sister
discussion
cities and
of moving sister
historical.
cities and adding it as continued,
And then
part
you
of the
just be me and
historical.
Steven? Is that okay?
Well,
Go ahead.
I-
Do you wanna?
Yeah, no, I'm good with that, as long as we
Wasn't
can
I
get some
on,
support from the city.
Historical, Stephen, didn't we talk about historical in one of the prior meetings?
Historical.
The list? Did
I
you have a
believe we did.
list?
That's why we brought it up, but it
So-
turns out, I guess it was community engagement.
And I don't think we talked about sister cities at that time.
No, that's why we're,
Yeah.
Oh,
That
okay.
was last week. I mean, last month, right?
Yeah, last month, not last week. Seems
Okay,
like
so
last
you're
week.
combining the two, okay.
So
Yeah.
I'd like to make a motion to combine the ad hoc committee for history and the sister cities and have me and Steven as the.
Ad hocs.
yeah,
Mr.
and
Chairman.
is Japita also part of that,
Who?
or no? Did you wanna?
Yeah, we need to talk about what it means.
Can we have
what-
3 people or how does that work?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
that
so you
can work.
technically two.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
if only
two.
2 are talking and one person's left out of the conversation, does that make it work?
Man.
Well, we have 2 people, so we can.
Yeah.
ad hoc
Why that one
committee for
person
2
goes
people.
away and he doesn't get in part of the conversation, or she doesn't get in the conversation.
Yeah,
And we can keep in contact with you and leave you in the email.
yeah, because we were talking about all the historical documents and the photos. Who sent those photos? You did, Steve.
Yes, I sent you some
Okay,
photos of the
so,
pyramid
yeah,
stuff.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
loosely, let's just
Yeah.
keep in touch. That'll be
Sounds
Let's
good.
do it. More history, the better.
Yep,
Okay.
and more eyes on it. So with that though, are we gonna be able to get any support from the city to offer us information as far as what's listed, what's not listed? Are we making
Well,
a list for the sister
that's what
cities?
you're, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
that's cool. But we need access to that stuff
Yeah.
and where it's at.
Yeah,
Which he's working on.
And if
so-
there's a little
yeah.
history, we could use that.
We have some
Okay.
items, that in admin office. I know there was some other things that were still, in the old city hall that were removed and they were put, I think, at city yard, so just start asking questions.
Gathering. Okay,
Finding
sounds
out where
good.
they're all
Let
at.
us know.
Can we have the mayor's old office in the old?
That's where actually some of them were at.
I would
They
not
were-
put it past them, I know.
No, man, make it a reality.
We need that, we need that vote.
Put that seed
Okay,
out
so
there.
chairperson, you do need to have that vote to, a
Yes.
formal vote of,
Yes.
so
I set the motion.
Stephen,
Want me to say it
Robert
again?
sent the motion.
Yeah,
Second.
to combine the 2 ad hoc committees.
I'm seconding.
Okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Next
Hey,
item,
hang on.
Got a hanger.
future
I
I
agenda
just want to know what
items.
the name is. I mean,
I'm sorry, excuse me.
Now, the name
Oh,
of this,
yeah, like what's the whole name
Well,
of
give
this?
us one.
Yeah.
It'll still
Sister
be under
cities and
the
historical
name of
monuments.
historical monuments.
And then we're calling it, but then Sister Cities duties are underneath that as well.
That is correct.
yes.
Oh, okay.
For clarification, can you like tell us like the mission statement for that ad hoc? Like, what's the purpose?
There's a lot of, artifacts that we came across, what, in 2021, I think,
I think so.
22?
That's,
So
And-
this committee was formed to just start documenting everything from the sister
Yeah.
cities. It's in Parks and Recs, has some of them in
We
there,
have some.
Mhm.
just displayed. So it's just like, how do we have a database so we know what came from where, from what sister city, when, if it's valuable or not. I think the value of it,
Mhm.
so that if in the future, if we ever did have a museum, we're able to send this stuff into museums and whatnot.
We're
Question.
in the
We
future
sent
when
stuff
we
to
do.
sister
When we do
cities.
have a museum.
We did.
Do we have
I think
record
that's
of
the
all the stuff
formation
we
of
sent
Sister
to
Cities
sister
one.
cities?
I do remember when we did the,
Historical monuments was
for
separate,
Gong,
that's
Gong,
more-
Gong?
what he brought.
Gong?
When we sent the.
Gong Hong, yeah.
Gong Hong, when
Yeah.
we sent that, I know we did take pictures of,
Yeah.
we actually had set it up.
I saw it.
and
I just
display
came through
before
that
and,
the other
like,
day. I'm
took-
like, oh, nice.
And took pictures of it, so we do have, that as part of that. And then
Okay.
we actually sent something
Because we should have that
this
history too. I think.
past year too, but economic
That's our
development
art going
handled
into
that.
another world or another place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the intent of taking the artifacts we have, and if there's any additional ones that have been received, there's over, I think, 20 something, if not more, cities that are sister cities of the city from variety of cities in Asia and Mexico. So it's just taking a lot of those elements and documenting it.
All our cities, all of our sister cities recognize that sign stop there at the city hall counter there. So all of them are acknowledged.
That they're posted on there?
Yes.
I
Like
would-
15 or 17. I didn't count, but there's enough
I
order.
would hope so.
Okay. Just curious.
Yeah.
Make sure they get their representation.
That's a historical monument.
Yes, it is.
Mhm. Now you're.
You go ahead.
Are we done with that one?
I think
No.
so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I did not see either a yes or no from these two gentlemen right here.
I think I'm just, the clarity on the name, like if we're gonna, historical monuments in sister cities ad hoc, just making it clear for.
That's
Okay.
what
Because
this
I know
covers.
none of our committees really have missions or.
Oh.
we don't
No,
have
and,
anything
and
that's
those
listed.
are those are conversations to have, and those are like small things to establish, and those goals for ad hocs, and also kind of shows, share with having those conversations of what resources are needed. We can create this data list and document things, but where does it go from there? So as far as specific name at this time, historical and sister city ad hoc committees?
I would say yes to that.
Okay.
Everybody in agreement with that?
So with this same approach, could we also add sister cities to historical, sister cities to community engagement? Because it's still current, right? We still have a relationship engagement with those cities.
Makes sense.
Yes or no?
Some city council do. I know the mayor, one of the sister cities came and visited in the summer, and they hosted the site. But as far as anything else, that it really is this city council and city manager element, where we would just be the ones documenting and kind of tracking it.
Support.
Now we did
that.
take
So support of
out
it.
some of those things for the Fiesta
We did.
festival.
We did have them out.
Because I remember guarding them. for a
Festival.
bit.
The
Yeah.
festival.
That was fun, but
Yeah.
those are probably dirty now.
So with that though, that's kind of like a community engagement, like they're mentioning. Those things were brought into the community and shown as to engage the community in the sister city art. So I don't know.
Okay.
That's kind of like a two-tier. That makes it like a two-tier thing now. It's going to go into both departments. Maybe.
I mean, it's as a commission as a whole, but I think it's just having a ad hoc, it's just more of, it's not being territorial or siloing it, it's just separating an assistance in the community.
Yeah.
So we're not having too much on everyone's plate.
And I've heard in my whole time here, like, one or two relevant ad hoc committee presentations. So, like, it's not a super big deal. Most of the business happens right in front of all y'all right here. But if you guys want to do the extra work on that, I'm all down. I'll pass it on like no problem. Because that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
So are we going with the first one, or are you bringing up a secondary motion?
I
Or?
got a second to that.
So the motion is still there, the votes are still there, but not all the votes were clear. So
Okay.
Michael and Victor were still unclear on if there was a yay or nay or abstain.
I would say a yay if we were to just make sure the name's clear, that it's both of those. That it's not just the historical monuments, but the sister cities and historical monuments ad hoc.
So you have to add another word, sister city.
That works for me.
That's right. No problem. All those in favor of that?
Just say-
I,
Aye.
Aye.
I agree too.
Do you wanna add another
Michael.
Opposed?
I see what you're saying, but yeah.
It's unanimous.
This is your city collector.
Moving on.
Okay,
I
so
know collection.
the-
May I bring up a motion to reestablish the murals ad hoc committee and look for who would like to do?
Do you want discussion of it being as it on its own or put it under, wasn't there another ad hoc that was already established?
That was,
Not the community engagement, there was
no,
another one.
it was, murals and
It was public art, wasn't it?
phone
Wasn't
boxes.
Yeah,
it-
public,
It wasn't
yeah.
it that, it was a while back, it was with another commissioner, with myself and another commissioner.
Yeah, it was the
Somebody
phone
kept putting a
boxes,
fork
wasn't
in
it?
it.
To have,
It was cause they wanted to do like the wraps, do the
all
boxes.
the
Yeah, and it-
junction boxes
Yeah,
Yes.
and
the murals
At the
and
time,
any,
the chair-
in a sense, it's displayed public art.
yeah.
And tracking the public art and adding to the list, because we've added probably at least 30 pieces in the last few months, or this year.
Is that one still active or?
No, because I was with Asel and
Okay.
myself. But the chairperson at the time, she kept putting a fork in it.
Can we
Big poke.
establish that one? Is that what we're?
So establishing a ad hoc for public art.
Cause they came, and then when Lily came in, that's when all of a sudden it just, everything was popping up. I was like, oh, that's awesome. But it was just that, the policy that was
Yeah, still.
getting lost again too, so.
Well, the public art is still there, so I think it's great to, while we get to the our actual policy of having that database, and I know that there was a project, there was a group, and Arts Connection also was part of it, of already establishing a public art list. So now it's just a matter of getting it and seeing where was left off and adding to what's been existing. Because since then, the mural at Hernandez, at Encanto, and then with the Love Your Block grant, there was all those murals that were added. Additional junction boxes have been added. Campo Santos, the Memorial Park, was added. So we have quite a few new additional
Yeah, which is awesome.
murals that we need to add to that list. So with your conversations here of establishing a public art ad hoc committee to get back on track on getting that list, keeping that list active. Is that what we're looking at?
I believe so.
Mr. Chairman? May I speak?
Did you have a motion?
Oh, no, I was gonna, oh, she?
She was talking to.
No, I was just,
I was just gonna ask who would be willing to do the public art ad hoc committee? Who would be willing? So I guess there's no reason to do one then. Well, there goes that.
I would
Next
hope like,
thing.
Public Works, just like how they're doing the other survey, it makes sense to have some type of a portal where community just uploads, and we just, at that point, the commission can look at those.
Yeah, I mean, we had talked about, well, not this last month, but the month before.
Well, wait a second. Can we add this into ours too? I mean, let's just do it all, dude.
Yeah, if you guys are doing
Seriously.
monuments.
Why not? I mean, we'll just.
It's
Three
a
ways,
lot,
you
but
know,
I mean, there was
it's a lot.
conversations about interns assisting as well. I don't
That's
know
what
if
I'm
that's
talking
something
about.
that might be, so.
Not all of it, but some, so that there's not such a heavy load on the people that aren't getting paid for it.
Okay,
Well, let's table that one for next meeting or something.
I'll entertain that motion.
Okay.
motion to table public art ad hoc committee.
Yes.
There we go.
Second,
I second.
Call for a vote.
discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. To table to the next meeting?
Then we can mold it better.
She
I just
wanted
know it's
it.
coming on. Like I said, the chili boxes. Okay. And yeah.
We used
Got
to,
some-
I've taken pictures long time ago of different murals that are no longer around anymore. Is that something that can be added to this type of list as well? Good.
There
Yeah,
is
because
pictures.
there's
Ghost
several.
murals.
Yeah,
pretty much.
So
there's a few
cool.
murals that I've seen when I around in the city, like
There's one by the
business in
hospital that got
Mount
taken
Vernon.
down.
There's one by the hospital. There's a few that are out there that we don't have the documentation.
There is pictures from previous, and when we submitted to, was it Jim Tuckmeyer?
I have all your pictures.
Yeah.
Yay.
But there was some that all of a sudden things got painted over. I'm like, oh, what happened?
Yeah,
Oh,
that'd
we
take
don't know.
long for some of them.
Yeah. So okay, moving on, Mr. Chairperson.
Historical monuments?
Future agenda items?
Did we talk about?
No, we didn't even talk
historical
about,
monuments?
so ad hoc committee updates, community engagement.
Wouldn't historical monuments be in the one that Robert and I are already on?
Yeah, that's it. That's what we just combined.
That's it. And so
Okay.
that'll be
Just talk
historical
about it.
and sister city.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so based off of the agenda, number 8 is ad hoc committee updates, so that would be community engagement and then historical and soon to be historical and sister cities. So any updates?
That was the awesome update right there, and that's what we've been heading for a long time. Getting the historical society involved in this process.
Yes.
And then also, we're working on the Native Sons, and just, I don't know, more volunteers. Like, that'd be cool if we could get, like, I remember we would do teams of volunteers when we did survey. So it'd be cool that, if we could maybe Stephen get together and we'll bring us a couple people and we'll just go do what they're doing on this.
Right.
Yeah.
Once he gives
I'll
us
contact
the green
them and
light
get,
on it.
so we can, at least start a little bit on the ones that we want, that we think are very important, that they might not know. I've also been visiting all of our historic plaques and, our different statues, and I'm doing my own documentation each time I go to one. So that's what I'm hoping for, that further database that I was asking him about, is the stuff that I've already taken photographs of that we don't have anymore except Facebook, right? I can get put into that database later on after they've already compiled the list. It's way easier to do with AI, right? So once I get the list, then we're set.
Yeah, that way you can see if it's already there, then you don't need to put it in there. But if maybe there's more information that
Yes.
you have than they do, that can be added. to
And
it.
then you could maybe do something formal, and we could get it onto the website eventually. I mean, these things will be integrated a lot better in the future. It's just right now we're preparing for that.
Yeah. Girls work.
Anything to add, Stephen?
No.
That's great.
Did you find anything else out from your friend? No?
Not yet.
Okay. That's all I got.
Next order of business.
Nothing on community engagement?
Not at this time. no.
Okay. So future agenda items?
I wanted to recommend that we hear from Carl Dameron on his project downtown. I think that's something that's important that we should be aware of. You know Carl Dameron?
Yep.
I think we should reach out to him and have him make a presentation to us at our next meeting.
What project would that be and how would it tie into?
Senior project downtown. Radisson Hotel has been sold, and now they're in the process of creating a senior citizens facility for downtown. It will bring many other people downtown, create a situation to where we could have, well, he'll share that with us, but I think it's important for us to be aware of that. This might create an opportunity to have more restaurants downtown, attract more people, just like the California Theater. There's some talk about possibly opening some restaurants around the California Theater. I mean, that's what we're talking about as far as revitalizing the city of San Bernardino. I think that's important for us to hear.
Yeah. I'd like to hear what he has to say about there off of 4th and D, where all those businesses are shut down next to Molly's.
Is there an element of, and within the arts and historical component?
Well, I think, it's all about the history, revitalizing San Bernardino.
Like
And
the arts corridor.
I think that's part of our group, is to restore the image of the city of San Bernardino. And I think it's certainly part of, we're talking about restoring the history of the area, and I think that would be a good information for our commission members.
Okay, so as a presentation, do you have contact information that you can share?
I don't have his contact information, possibly Ms. Marquez knows
Okay.
his contact information.
Sounds good. All right. Other agenda you wanna ask your?
Okay.
Yes. Anything else?
Yes, I'd like to add about, it must have been about 2 years ago, Gwen in Arlington approached me about renaming East Street after Martin Luther King, which I think is probably a hard thing to do. And I told them that. But that little cul-de-sac right there next to the Martin Luther King statue, right? Does that have a name? And like, it says Commerce Center, right? I think up there in the front on that thing, could it be Martin Luther King's Commerce Center or something like that? Like,
The Chase Bank?
yeah, I think it would really add a cultural element to that area. And that is one of the most incredible, beautiful statues. And Dr. Hill, she loved it. So it'd just be great to honor that area. And I like their idea. It never, I lobbied, the council people, it didn't happen, anything. But I didn't lobby for that little, you know what I'm talking about, that turnaround thing?
Yeah.
What is that
People
called?
park in the bank.
Does that have a technical name or something?
We just call it the roundabout.
Roundabout? Yeah, Martin Luther King roundabout, right? I don't know. This is an idea, and I'd just like to present it to them, see what they think. It wouldn't cost that much, and then we could do something really big for Martin,
Okay.
Other ideas?
Can I go back to number 6?
Agenda items?
Yeah.
Okay,
Cool.
absolutely.
I should have said it earlier. So since we don't feel like we're hypocritical, is there a way to do, like, how they do online comments? Is there a way so we can say, since we're not being hypocritical, that we're giving options or other opportunities for for engagement from the community to come in, like,
Yeah,
how they do?
there's always the option to email comments.
So, but like to do a like say, I don't know,
Se-
online.
Send out like additional notifications.
Yeah. So just so they say, well, we're not working with the
Or they
community.
could listen to the recording.
Yeah. I mean, is there a way so we can't just sit here and say, oh, we're not giving the community any chance to talk? But best believe when they collect money, you're gonna see everybody here when they get money, because that's been done. So it's like all of a sudden time is an issue, but then when they're ready to receive funding, we got everybody here. So I'm just so we can give the option that they know that they could. The same thing like the city meetings. Because I know when I see the city meetings online, it's basically the typical people that are always there, the same ones repeatedly on that video. So I see the audience, it kind of looks empty. So I mean, I know it's going to go a little later. Let's see how that little later, if it's going to get more people, like they're saying, to accommodate the community. So
Okay. So do I hear an agenda item on
is
that?
that what it would be? I mean, just so I
This in term,
I don't know how to. Because I know I'm pretty sure this is gonna go on social media that when it's not giving.
sharing the different outlets for public access.
Just so they could still be part of this commission as well.
Sharing public access.
Was that recording, are the recordings being shared?
Yeah, they have been getting posted
And where do we find them at?
through the city's website.
Okay.
It's in the
You don't have to
archive.
get no negative.
It's in the archives.
Yeah, so that way someone says, well, we don't have no access, here's what happened.
Thank
Like
Michael
the
for
top
that, man. We made sure they got those recorded. I love it. Because you came in here and you were recording them by yourself for a while there. So that was good stuff. It's good to have a record of all this stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any
The city should be
city
doing it.
staff or
That's
commissioner
exactly.
Any-
announcements?
Well, we're still on future agenda items. Did you have any of the commissioners?
I do.
There you go.
I do.
Go ahead, please.
So I would like for a presentation, hopefully from city manager or city attorney, to help us go over the bylaws and talk to us about protocol and procedures. Because no one has really taken the time to educate us on how to hold a meeting and what's required, protocols, the correct process. We're talking about talking among ourselves, also on emails and stuff, and a good question to bring up to like city manager or the attorney is, should we not have city emails to keep it all in-house? So that's my ask. And I do have a second one for a presentation from our local cities, Redlands, Rialto, Loma Linda, when it comes to the Arts and Culture Master Plan. I just want to know what their experience, how long it took, any obstacles that we should know, why reinvent the wheel when we have great cities around us that have been doing the arts and culture, and also like housing and all that stuff.
So,
We did receive all that stuff, by the way, but you weren't a commissioner
I
at
know.
that point. Yeah, so probably the new people would probably need that, but
I would still like it to be presented to us as a committee.
because it is in our handbook. Right through it.
Because
and all have the handbooks, correct?
Yeah.
Yep, that's what we're given when we signed up for this.
Because I do have one question. Last meeting, there was a quorum. I didn't answer the email, yet the meeting happened without a notification to commissioners that could have made the meeting. Is that protocol for not to include people that did not answer the email?
I did not send out the quorum thing last meeting, so I don't know.
The response goes to all, if there's a quorum or if there's
Because I didn't
not.
get that email. Did you get that email that there was a quorum last meeting?
Not last meeting, just this meeting.
Yes.
But
Last
there was a
meeting-
meeting last time.
And,
Am I correct?
she was
Yes.
absent because she worked so hard.
I can address to that. I know that we all received notice of the meeting to respond by a certain time.
Mhm.
And then today, or maybe yesterday, I received notification that we would have a meeting.
Mhm.
So,
So what about
so
those?
they let us know if there's quorum. If there's not a quorum, then they'll let us know.
But that notification does go to everyone. We're missing one commissioner. Did it go to him also? That, hey, even though you didn't vote on it or tell us, here's notification that a meeting is happening.
No.
No.
If one of you actually tells me no, straight up no, I will not be there. I will not send you a notification that a quorum is taking place.
What happens?
I will send it to anybody that does not respond.
I didn't
Automatically.
get one. So I would like to see that
Because of the
email.
fact that, I don't know your status, so I'll just automatically include you because it could be something that you thought you sent it or you just got busy or something like that. So since I don't know your status, I'd rather assume you're going to be here than ignore you.
Yeah, and thank you for clarifying, because I never got an email saying that there was a quorum meeting for last meeting.
But for last month, I was not here, so I did
understand.
not
Thank
send
you.
those
But
messages
thank
out.
you. So, and
But
that's
for
why I
this
want-
particular one, I can answer what I did.
Yes, thank
Okay.
you. And that's one of the reasons why I would like the city manager to sit in or city attorney to just help us understand what's going on.
We're an advisory role, dude. Those
Robert,
people
you're-
don't want to
Robert,
come down here
you've
for
been
us.
going around the community saying that it's a political move to change the time.
It is. That's what Valdivia did. I mean,
Your buddy, yes.
he changed the time and it didn't work. That's the point.
And then your buddy is your buddy, so it's the same thing. So it's like if it's this, you're saying Valdivia, you're with treasurer, so
He
it
doesn't think
matter.
I'm his
And you're
buddy
with Sandra, who
anymore.
doesn't do anything.
I don't even talk to her really anymore. She don't even show up to a lot of things.
Amen.
So I'm just
Okay.
here until they.
So you're endorsing against Sandra.
I would just like to say something real quick though, in regards to your bylaws and everything. Your bylaws are actually, that was produced by the city clerk's office. So there's a good likelihood that if we
And
do
city
reach
clerk.
out, that it would be a representative from the city clerk's office that actually comes by, if they do choose to come by, since you are given the actual, the binder at the time that you guys do have your first meeting. Everything that's in the binder is approved by, of course, city manager, city attorney, and city council. But the binder itself, we've been given instructions by the city clerks to actually produce that for you.
Then the city clerk, then, thank you.
Okay?
And as far as presentations, I wouldn't probably be all at once in terms of other park master plans, but those are something that are not public art plans. But those something that we could seek out and get copies of and share that with the commission to review.
What if I can get the contact for, like, let's say, City of Riverside to bring their master plan person to present? I can have them contact you.
Okay. Okay. Any other
Agenda items?
agenda items?
I don't have any.
Okay.
No.
It's on.
City staff and commission announcements.
City staff, I don't have any announcements. Does any commissioners have any?
Got none.
I do. We do have our great turkey trot
Yay.
on Saturday, so that should be fun. And it is so much fun. It was super cool. I had a great time. And one other thing that the sign that's from right by Parasol Park that is old now, so it's like got the October and November, and I know someone did that sign and it's got art, and if we get rid of it, it'd be better for time. You know, because
you're talking about the over the street banner?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Some people
it's
see
on
it.
schedule. I know. I don't have any.
You know how
control
our people
of
are. They
public
can't even
works.
get that sign down,
Yeah.
or you know.
On the schedule to go up is Miracle. So as
Okay,
soon as we
cool.
can get them that,
Perfect.
I don't control any of
The
O&M
banner production.
schedules, and we submit what we have in the process, and when it gets approved, and
Okay.
but yes, it'll be switched out.
And I'd like to add that since you came, dude, these meetings have been a little bit more contentious, and I'd like to lower down the temperature a little bit if we could. And I like to say that I respect you, dude, and I care deeply for what you feel. So don't think that you're like an outsider or an outcast or anything like that. You really are a part of the community, and we care what you think. But like the tit for tat stuff, it doesn't help the commission because we really are an advisory body, and to be honest, a lot of our advice does not get taken. So it takes us actually approaching them personally to do the lobbying. And you know, if you can lobby one vote, good. But you need to lobby 5 votes to get things from this commission passed. So that means we have to work together. There's not a team up there that can make the commission things pass, right? So we have to make the team up there. So I just want you to know that, you know, I'm happy you're here, and we can make this place good. And cool art and history. Thank you very much.
And having them, and then especially when Liddy came in, things started moving. So, because before, like I said, the other chairs, nope. Because like I said, everybody wants to have, like I said, authority or control or something. So, I'm okay with them even taking over the meeting sometimes. No. And I appreciate you guys.
Before we adjourn, I'd like to thank all the commissioners for
I don't
coming
think we're all
today
done
to
with
create a
the-
quorum.
More announcements down there.
There's some more announcements, sir.
More announcements at
Oh.
the end there.
You want any pictures?
Madam
You gotta ask everybody.
More announcements, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I thought we were done.
Just to respond back to Mr. Porter, you've been saying the opposite out there in the community. It's gone back to me. So if you have something to say about me, say it to my face.
I
Okay.
just did. You did.
No. Okay. Also, just moving forward, I'm here for the arts and historical. Okay. And for someone else to tell our story, our history, and how it's being done, it's not correct. Okay. And I'd rather talk to you in private about that. Okay. But announcements, I want to say congratulations to the Garcia Center on your 10 years anniversary.
Oh, thank you.
I know you guys have been doing a lot in the community. It's not easy running a nonprofit. So my hat goes off to you, Michael. And that's all.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Robert, as well, for your words. We definitely do need to figure out how we all work together to make the arts move forward. There's a lot to be done. There's a lot of advocating we all have to do to even push policy with our council members so that, there is funding for the arts, because we have no funding. They took that when they combined the commissions. So that's something to really look at as commissioners. We heard it from Ulysses. They're doing a lot, but they barely got 8,000, which is really nothing compared to what other grants give and other funding sources. So it's like, how do we do more as the city? And transparency is definitely a key thing that our city lacks at times. So thank you for starting the recordings and making sure the recordings are there. I hope the city figures out how to get the technology to do YouTube for every meeting. It's simple to do those streaming. But that's enough said. I wanted to say we have a ton going on at the Garcia Center. The Mercado Market, I gave you all flyers. So November 29th, 1 to 5 p.m. Please come by the Garcia Center, shop local, 24 different vendors, all local artists who craft their own things. Perfect place to buy a gift for your loved ones for the holidays. The Mercado members, they're a co-op of 24 different businesses currently. They are also doing a creative entrepreneurship mixer in December 13th, 3 to 8 p.m. They'll have a few panel discussions, and then there'll be some networking and other activities. So they're really trying to get that creative entrepreneurship going there. So please support those vendors. I kind of just let them do their thing, and I just handle other business around the center. The Garcia Center ourselves, we moved our community 10-year celebration, which is a free event, to December 19th. We're going to be doing that from 4 to 9 p.m. December 19th. And then we also have a posada coming up December 22nd from 5 to 8 p.m. So we're bringing back the posadas in memory of Ernie. Ernie started that, a while back now. And we just want to make sure that those are continuing to happen yearly. And that's all I have right now for the Garcia Center. We just have a lot going on. I know you're talking about having the city, how much they do, and it is a lot of work. So thank you, Vanessa, again for keeping this event going. I think every year I've went with my kids, they love it. So the kids, enjoy seeing the characters, going ice skating, and it brings joy to San Bernardino. So thank you.
Yep.
I'll pass it over to you.
I have nothing to add. Good meeting. I enjoyed the meeting.
With some of the things we need funded in the city, I remember Letty saying last year that the Arts and Historical has a 501c section now. Yes, no?
They were trying to create one for the Parks and Recs.
Oh, Parks and
I don't
Rec.
know what happened.
Yeah, trying to establish.
Didn't come through?
A foundation. It got stopped at the CM's office.
Oh, bummer.
So that's something that it's on my docket to look into and see how we could, what needed to be modified to it. If anything needed to be modified. I wasn't sure exactly what it was. All I know is at the time it was stopped.
And then if it does start back up, do you already have grant writers lined up to do those things? Or would you seek
We
out?
would, depends on the grant. We have a grants division within our finance department.
Right.
That also has a consultant as well.
Okay.
So depending on the level and the funding amount, some things can be done in-house. If we can do it in-house, which a lot of our grants have been in-house, and we've been pretty good, and we have a pretty good track record. And
Because I
being
see a lot when
recipients.
I'm out on
Yeah.
the interwebs and whatnot.
Yeah.
And
So like with the creative core grant, that was in-house. So.
so is that something I could forward to somebody when I come across a grant? Who would I forward that to?
Forward to me.
Okay.
And we'll take a look at it and then go through it, and a lot of the language, I'll go through things and send it over to Grant, say, hey, can you just edit it to make sure that we're on track?
Sounds good.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Anything else? Want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving?
Yep, same to you.
Gobble,
Gobble,
gobble.
And, and I'll entertain a motion. Go ahead to adjourn the meeting.
I'll second it.
I'll third it.
All those in favor?
Ayes.
Aye.
I think ayes have it.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Unanimous. We'll see everybody on December the 15th.
Don't forget your notes
That's our
there.
Next
The
meeting,
next one.
Previous commissioner.
December
Actually, I
15th.
need that.
Oh.
They don't like it.
No, they turned it up there, maybe not in a certain click of the art with.